Podcaster, entertainer, philosopher, comedian, Mike Usenick. Usenick Unleashed.
I love that intro. It was done by my friend, Gnarlystankbud. Sorry, my brain froze. Gnarlystankbud. And the logo, for anybody wondering, go check out Riff Media Group. They're amazing. I'm sitting here with my buddy, Not Very Bright. I just noticed your name. Is that like your handle on things, or?
No, I just picked something at random.
That's hilarious. But it's not that he holds his privacy to standard. He just doesn't have a camera, which is weird on modern technology that there's no camera.
No, there is no camera. I bought this thing from Best Buy after my dad passed away. I got a little bit of a chunk of inheritance, and I was like, I'm gonna buy myself a nice ass fucking gaming laptop for it, and that's what I did. But it did not. I was like, it did not have a camera on it, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I buy like a $1,200 laptop, and it's got no fucking camera. What the hell?
So what are they doing? Are they like out like sourcing cameras? Like they're getting rid of them? Because I remember when that was a big thing, they did that shit with CD players.
I bet you that's what they're doing. I bet you they're outsourcing cameras to make you buy them separately, so they can make more money that way. It makes sense.
That's what iPhone did with the fucking home button.
Apple's a criminal organization. Everybody loves Apple, but everything with them is proprietary. I hate Apple because of that. Oh well, you can't like jailbreak anything, or it's not interchangeable like an Android is. You have to have their products, or you're just fucked.
So I just actually the phone that I have quit working since we're talking about technology, and I had to order a new phone. And I decided I'm going to go old school a little bit. I got a Google Pixel 6 Pro, and I'm planning on jailbreaking it because you can do that.
I heard those are good phones.
They are good phones, but the issue is the battery life. But Google is also known for running a lot of background apps. So you can get a software called Graphene OS that prevents apps from playing in the background or performing in the background.
Yeah, if you have everybody's so worried about our privacy. I was like, if you have Google, why don't be like worried about your privacy because they already know everything about you. Google knows everything about you.
Well, you know what's really fucked up though is privacy is starting to become against the law because they're arresting people in certain areas for having a Google Pixel phone with graphene on it. Because they're claiming, oh, but you want to be private, so therefore you're a criminal, and that's wrong.
Well, that's fucked up.
It's very fucked up. It goes against the Constitution, in my opinion, anyway. But that's besides the point. I was reading your poetry today, by the way. I feel kind of guilty because I haven't finished it, but I do plan on having you on more than just this one time because I really do enjoy chatting with you. We've crossed paths, but we never really had a chance to actually sit down and talk much.
No, we've crossed paths quite a lot, and there's a few times when you've made me laugh until I fucking cried. And you fit the bill for somebody that's you look absolutely fucking unhinged. So
I fucking love you. I am, and honestly, one of my heroes, and it's very noticeable if you realize how unhinged some of my shit is in the way that I act. One of my heroes died recently, so shout out to Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, I got shit on for that because I'm like, why is everybody so upset that he died? He was old. Like, my metalhead friends, oh, how dare you? And I was like, that's not what I meant. He was old. He got sober in his 50s, for fuck's sake.
Well, there's
No, I'm not diminishing the fact that he meant a lot to a lot of people. I want to clear the air there.
well, here's the
But
thing though, is I'll play the devil's advocate. I love Ozzy to pieces. I always did. He got me through some rough things. Alice Cooper too, who is also not a young bird, and I'm surprised he's performing as amazingly as he is. So I'm very glad he got sober and he's doing well. But in Ozzy's case, it's one of them things where we saw it coming, but we didn't want it to be this soon. Because Ozzy, yes, he's a maniac. Yes, he's crazy. Yes, he's done some insane things. He teeters the line between morally right and morally wrong. But the thing that's beautiful about Ozzy is he taught people that it's okay to be fucked up and still love yourself, and it's okay because within all that fucked up craziness is still a great person. Um,
yeah,
the man showed that the world who he was, good or bad. He admitted and embraced all aspects of himself, which not very many people do. Many people hide from the horrible parts of themselves and pretend they're an amazing person when none of us are.
I can't say that I admired that about Ozzy and a lot of performers. I really admire musicians that one that you do not that don't shy away from their politics. I
Mhm.
mean, and what you see is what you get. I mean, they don't, and they also don't shy away from the fact that they might have had a fucked up life or a fucked up past, and they're open about it. Like
Mhm.
why sugarcoat it, man? I'm a huge fan of Steve Earle. That dude is not shy about his politics, how he feels about things, and is not shy about the fact that he was a junkie and everything else. It's all I saw him do an acoustic show where he basically told stories and laid it out pretty bare. What you
Which
see is
that
what
kind
you
of,
get.
sorry to interrupt, but that kind of ties into artwork in general. And I'm kind of using this as a leeway into your poetry. That is a way of most people hide from that shadow part or that part of themselves that is like deemed as societally horrible, and others like Ozzy and other people are like, yes, I was a drug addict, yes, I almost killed my wife, that's not who I am now, I grew from it, yes, I was a shitty person, but aren't we all? Just some of us admit to it or don't admit to it. Some of us are too afraid to admit to our own shit. So I think a lot of people use art like poetry, music, and shit to channel that darkness and make it a good thing. Darkness doesn't have to be bad, it can channel and
No,
be
no,
creative.
it doesn't. Uh, I mean, you can create to create and to cover both aspects of yourself, which can be good or bad, good and bad, is can be very enlightening. I mean, it can not only be therapeutic for yourself, but and cathartic in that way, but it also can reach out and touch someone else. Like that's
Mhm.
part of the reason why I do what I like to do what I do, and if I always tell myself every day if something I write or put on paper like touches one person and it helps them in any way, then I feel like I've done my job. You
And
know.
I was, like I said, I read some of your poetry and I find it very beautiful because you use a lot of metaphors, a lot of beautiful metaphors in a sense in some of your poems. Not all, but some of them you do. Like in one of them, I noticed you referred to, I, I'm paraphrasing, so correct me if I'm wrong because my memory is not the best at times, but you
Yeah.
compared the furnace to the lungs of the house. And I found that to be a very interesting metaphor.
Yeah, man. I'm big on that. I'm big on like metaphors and imagery and shit. I like to paint pictures with words, man.
Well, me and you relate in that way because I'm big into, and I'm not shy about it, I'm big into like mythology and like I have dug a little bit into some old pagan aspects and the esoteric mindset, which is just symbolic mindset. And I really do enjoy the poetic language. And I think we shied away from that a lot as society because we started taking things way too literal and completely forgot that language is poetry. It's all symbolic, whether we like it or not.
Um, I've been told by a lot of my pagan friends and witchy friends that words and even singing it's magic, man. Any way you cut it, it's magic.
It is magic because all magic is whether it's words, numbers, whatever makes you feel a certain way, and it affects your day or your life in any certain way. That is magic. Magic has more scientific backing than any other system. Just a lot of people don't like to believe in magic because it has that, that supernatural aspect to it. But there are scientific words that basically just describes magic.
Yeah. So I've always been big on that kind of like very metaphorical and like very image based writing and poetry. I like to put you. I call my if I can sum it up in like the simplest terms, I like to call it like well painting with words is one thing, and like make basically like giving you like a snapshot, like a photograph, and in a space and time that you can clearly see where my head was at, and you can put yourself in that situation.
I can feel with the ones that I've read. I didn't read the whole book, like I said. I got like a little under halfway through it. But from what I have read, you do a very good job at letting people know where your headspace is. However, you don't explain too much. You leave it open ended so that it could affect the individual listener and have them interpret it however it affects their own life. But yet, you are also going through your own thing. You're kind of channeling that energy.
Yeah, I don't ever. If people want to ask, can ask like or want to ask me and say, hey, where did this come from? Why did you write it? I'll tell you. I can tell you plainly.
Mhm.
But like for the most part, I it's it's kind of self-explanatory. It's pretty easy to see where I was at or where my head was at when I was writing it. So a lot of the time it does explain it. It explains itself pretty easily. So I don't really have to. And I don't believe like one of my favorite poets said like you shouldn't have to like in terms of writing poetry you shouldn't have to like tie it down to a chair and beat it to death to get meaning out of it. It should be very easy, like water skiing.
And even if the person doesn't read it or interpret it the way you meant it to be read, that's the beauty of art. Um,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
supposed to, yeah, it's supposed
that's
to,
something I agree with wholeheartedly.
yeah, it's supposed to reach people in different ways. It's kind of like religion in a sense, or spirituality in a sense, or even songs in a sense. Each person uses that in their life differently, but that art, that's the reason for art. That's why we put it out there. We not only want to get our thoughts and our mind out there so somebody else can attach to it, but we also want a place of relativity, whether it be the actual interpretation you meant or not.
If somebody gets something out of it, like I said, no matter how they choose to look at it, and it helps them in some way, then I'm all for it. Whatever you pull out of it, it works for me. I'm not here to tell anyone what they're supposed to get out of anything that I write. That would be selfish for me as someone that creates something.
And I'm about ready to use a quote on you that is it sounds selfish at first, but it makes a lot of sense. When a lot of people get into art, not all people, but a lot of people, they think, how will my audience feel about this, or what should I write for my audience? But to quote the great Rick Rubin, he said that the audience should come last. You should come first. The audience will find you. The audience should definitely come last because if you're not putting your own heart and soul into your art, then what's the point?
Yeah, I agree with that. Uh, I don't feel like I should. I should look at my writing by those parameters because I write for myself, and the people that like it will find it. You know,
Hmm.
it started out. I've been writing since I was probably in kindergarten.
Damn, dude.
Then, uh, but then I started really writing poetry and stuff when I was like in my teens. I am an older emo. I'm still very much an emo kid, even though I'm 40 years old. So that's how it kind of started. It was about a lot of it was about girls, and it was bad. It was
Well,
horrible.
it shows in your poetry that you're emo. It's clear. It's
Uh,
clear
uh,
day, bro.
oh, I know. I ain't gonna shy away from it, man. I
You
mean,
are
when I saw you at the market today, you're like, "Who hurt you, dude?" Oh, that's like a whole can of worms.
at least like emo and goth and alternative chicks. At least they're cute. So I mean, you got that going for you.
Oh God. Oh my God. There's this one girl that lives in California, and she is like, she used to live in Cleveland, and she is a smoke show, man. Oh,
Man, I've been
like,
really digging Rhea Ripley lately. Like I'm whenever I the bad thing though is I actually had this in my set for a while. The bad thing though about like the gothic area, the aspect is like when I tell them that I'm pagan, they think I mean something else. And I'm like, no, 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 put that strap away. Like, that's wrong.
I'm not sure I'm down for
I don't know. It's too big. I don't know.
that. Holy shit.
Like, holy fucking shit balls. Like, coming out
Nothing bigger than my forearm, please.
big as your forearm. You end up with a pink sock. But so where can we find your poetry though? I know you sent me the file, but where can other people find it?
Honestly, man, it's just in the book. I should make a website, but I suck at making websites. Two, so I really have no like centralized place for it. And, like most of it's just on my personal website, on my personal Facebook. If I put shit up, there it is. I do have a Facebook for that thing,
Mhm.
that very thing, but I rarely touch it. I should do more, but I do not because I am lazy as fuck.
I think we all are, in a sense, lazy in certain aspects of our life. So you can't really fault yourself for that. All you can do is learn from it. And I think what would be best for you, at least coming out as a friend, would be get like a little, not necessarily a website because that implies paying for it, but get like a blog spot or something like that, like a blogging site, and get like a handle, and you could have people go to that for now.
Yeah, like a well, what do they call it? Like a WordPress, something like that.
Yeah, like a WordPress, or even nowadays you can get a Wix account and make an entire website, and it just be like wix.com or whatever it is, or wix.yourname.com, or I don't know how that works, but you can go about that route too. And websites really isn't too much. I have my own right now. Shout out to a friend of mine for doing it for me, but it links straight to, those websites you can go to that has like all your social medias and all that shit. Um,
Right.
it goes to that, and it's like I think $40 for 3 years or something like that.
That's not bad.
No, the initial getting it was like $60, but like $40 for 3 years, not at all bad.
Yeah, but I might go back to I might go back to the Facebook that I made that was specifically for writing and start putting up more shit because I have like all kinds of stuff.
When you do, or whatever path you choose to take to release it, let me know and I will share it out. And also, if you need any help, like with websites or whatever, I might not be intelligent in those aspects, but I can probably get a hold of some people that are.
I would appreciate that. I mean, I'm working on I'm working on another book, and that one's going to be like a lot, uh, probably way different than the last one. I mean, it's going to be more rounded, I think, subject wise. Uh,
Understandable. So is it going to be still a poetry book or like a story?
it'll probably be more poetry and just probably some essays and stuff that I've decided to
Fair.
throw into it. But I've been on this earth for 40 years now, so 4 decades, and I'd say in about 30 of those I've dealt with women. So that's probably what it's going to be about.
Damn
And
women.
they're the bane of our existence.
It's
And
funny. It's funny because like I don't know, dating is weird nowadays. Like dating is very weird nowadays. Don't mind the. Did you see that
yeah,
Jack in the Box back there? No,
yeah. What the fuck was that?
that was my dear mom. I actually live with my parents and I help them out with bills and stuff. So that's the living situation nobody asked for. But there you go. There's that information. But the
But
thing is, dating's crazy. Not to go into like the dating aspect of life, but like dating's weird. And I've gotten to the weird point in my life where like I'm not necessarily happy that I'm alone and single, but I'm also content with not settling. And I'm starting to become more content with if people aren't interested kind of situation. I know some people get bitter and I've kind of lost that part of me. But like that's a hard part to lose because that's a part of our ego.
I don't care either way. I tend to fall in love very quickly at
Mhm.
times, which can be an issue.
Mhm.
Uh, but if I get set on a girl, man, I get set on her. And like I said, like I mean, I went out to California to see a girl, and we're friends, and that's how it is. But still, I have no problem saying at the time I was very into her, and uh, still count her as one of the most like beautiful women I've ever think I've seen in my entire life. Which,
I
but then have
yeah.
to reach past the person, the body, get past the body, and like know the person, and like she's like pretty good person all around, and I wish her the best in everything that she does. Uh,
That's all we can do because I believe that we as a species, it's the ego that makes us be like, if they can't be with me, I'll be upset. But in reality, you can love multiple people and realize that it's just not meant to be. And you can still love them from either afar or with them still in your life and still want them to be more. But you have to let go of that ego part. And that's the very hard part because I've been that guy. I've gotten upset. I've been took it personal and I still do it from time to time. I'm not
I
going
do too. I do too. I can't say that I've had it. I'm not going to shy away from admitting that I get jealous from time to time, and act because acting like you're not is bullshit, and that's a fucking lie.
Well, for some people, it's not a lie because some people have broke away from that societal dogma. Because all it is what we've been programmed to think, and some people have broken that mold. And I've seen it firsthand. Do they get jealous about things? Yes, but it's not the same things we would get jealous about, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
well, hey, good for them if they've let go of that because I sure as fuck haven't. it's
It's hard. It really is, and all you can do is
it's hard to
communicate.
separate that shit.
Yeah. And it's not for everyone. That's why I've been lately and you can do it through your poetry and I do it through other methods, but at the end of the day, I think all anybody wants is not necessarily love from other people. I think we all want deep down love from ourselves. You're never truly happy or love yourself unless you love yourself with or without people around. And you wouldn't have that. jealousy aspect of yourself if you were content with yourself, if that makes sense.
That's true. That is true. I waffle between, that, and because I do love a lot of aspects of myself, but there's other stuff that, that's the hell of a fucking hang up, and that goes from that like extends back into old ways of thinking,
Hmm.
uh, from like high school and shit. I was bullied a lot and told I was fucking fat and all this shit, and that shit stays with you. Even at 40, it stays with
Yeah,
you. You
it's
know.
it's part of that childhood trauma. I'm not sure if you're familiar. I'm no psychiatrist or therapist, but like I study philosophy and everything else. And I don't know if you're familiar with Carl Jung.
Yeah, I am.
Carl Jung created what is now known as shadow work. Um, and a lot of people do what's called shadow work archetyping, which is a form of modern, well, you'd call it neo paganism, where they take either old gods or characters and they archetype them. They know it's a part of them, but they archetype them to address the shadow within, the scared child, the trauma, if
Yeah.
you will. And they try to dig to the root of why they behave or why they get upset about certain things. Because when we get upset about things, according to Carl Jung, when we get upset about certain things, we're not mad at the person doing it. It's because we have an uncomfortable shadow within ourselves that knows that we are also guilty of that, or it's something of ourselves that makes us feel
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. But either way, I met this other girl, and I really like her, and uh, and she fulfills the need of telling me that I'm handsome and shit. I'm not used to that. There's still like a part of me that's stuck back in that at high school that's not used to being called pretty or handsome or none of that shit. I don't know how to handle it, you know. But I like it. It feels good to have that acknowledgement. So I think a lot of women don't realize that we as men like to be told that we're handsome and we're pretty and shit just as much as they do, even though some women get it more than others, and it can feel shallow and hollow after a while for women that are good looking. But just but seriously, as men, we like to hear it, man. I love to hear it. It does a lot for me.
I
Uh,
think it's a big issue for a lot of people because going back to like society, we've been taught that like men are supposed to be the ones to hold the door open. Men are supposed to do this. Men are supposed to not let their mental health come out. And you know what's really fucked up, bro? Do you know where that mindset came from? It wasn't.
uh,
It wasn't women telling men that.
no, it was men telling other men that.
It was men telling other men that because they didn't want to confront their own shit, so nobody should.
Yeah, it's a very outdated, very
Yeah,
kind of masculine, overly masculine stupid alpha male shit way of thinking.
yeah.
You know
And
that guys shouldn't tell other guys they love each other, they shouldn't hug, they shouldn't cry, blah 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 blah. You know,
it's weird because it's a modern construct, really. Because if you go to like ancient civilizations or different other mindsets, a lot of people believe that within all of us are the masculine and the feminine, and you should embrace both sides of yourself.
yeah, it's a very much like 1950s, 1960s kind of concept that's very American.
Yeah, you got to be tough.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do because it's easier to sell war that way.
Oh, I mean, if you want to get that deep with it, yeah, it is easy to sell
It's
sell
much
war and violence that way.
because if you
Uh,
think about it, and I'm sorry to go down this rabbit hole, but if you really want to think about it in a sense, if you, and I could be wrong, so if people think that I'm wrong or have facts to back up that I'm wrong, go ahead. That's what life's about. But around the same period of the toxic masculinity, the big rise in the 40s, we had "In God We Trust" put on everything because we were afraid of those goddamn communists. So we had to raise our military numbers because they were low. So what better way to do that? Make all the men have to be tough. They have to keep everything to themselves. They have to blah 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 blah. And we have to have God in everything. And I'm not one to bastardize somebody's belief because you believe what you want. But if that starts influencing government or that starts trying to force itself into other people's lives, same with toxic masculinity, that's not a way to believe.
Yeah. Hey, God and Jesus is a great thing. Uh,
For some people, it
uh,
is.
but when you're using it for power and control, it is not.
And it's really not. And that it's sad because that belief system has, and I'm not saying the people, all of the people in it, but a lot of people in it have killed pagans, have demonized other beliefs. Why? Because these people are going to hell. No, that's your belief system. That's not everybody's. We shouldn't bastardize people or make people appear to be evil just because they don't believe the same shit we do.
I agree. I mean, I come from a very liberal Christian background. I was a Methodist and still kind of am. My mom's a Methodist preacher, and now I consider myself more of an honest, like Irish pagan kind of. I believe in everything basically.
And it's very
Uh,
beautiful that people have that belief. I just don't like when they are assholes about it. My parents
no,
are very religious and they don't shove that shit down people's throat.
no. Your mom's hilarious, by the way. I see where you get your sense of humor from.
Right? So you're an Irish pagan, you'd say?
A little bit.
What form? Like, do you follow the old Irish gods, or are you just a pantheist, animist, like you worship nature kind of Irish, or both?
I I feel like I feel like worshiping nature is just kind of like, or finding peace in nature is just kind of something that was already ingrained in me anyway from my family. But I'm just kind of dipping my toes into Irish paganism and learning that there's certain gods and goddesses that I resonate with and stuff like that. I've already joined an order that's like devoted to like one particular Irish goddess. It's Bridget, who is also Saint Bridget because she was canonized too by the Catholics.
Well, if you go to the Christianized version, yes, Saint Bridget later on was the original goddess. I'm big into like mythology and like different religions because I try to acknowledge them all, but it's hard. There's so much knowledge out there. But Irish is where I gravitated towards, so that's where I got really intrigued by you saying you're an Irish pagan. If you want, there is a Irish pagan school online. Literally, that's their name, and they
Oh, I
actually,
know.
yeah, they dig in Irish
I'm
paganism.
very aware. I've used some of their free classes to learn some stuff.
Dude, it's fucking beautiful. It's a beautiful culture, and it's hard to really know what the original Irish paganism is because, as you probably already know, the Druids was just word of mouth. And when I think St. Patrick came through, they kind of
They had no real written records. They didn't
no,
really
and
keep
the only
written
records we
records.
have are Christianized versions.
And uh, so it is very interesting, and I like the fact that they're like uh, they are a little gatekeeping. I'll give them that, but you have a right to be gatekeeping toward your culture. You
Yeah.
know,
And even the Irish pagan school people said you can interpret this practice how you wish, but don't take away from what the practice originally was. Because that's what religion's all about. And actually, spirituality is all about is making it your own.
and it is so it's I'm very interested. I got a few books from them
That's awesome.
by just going through their uh resources and saying like here's some books you should buy, books you should read, that kind of thing.
There's a podcast too that actually reads the old scripts of like the two a day and the old Irish gods. They read the Battle of Mark. I'm bad with pronunciations, but Moitira, I think is how it's pronounced, the Battle of
Yeah,
Moitira. They read that. They also read The Taking of Ireland and all the different versions of it. And they try to get to the root of original paganism in Ireland. I forget the name of it. Let me look it up right now. I find it interesting how we connect on this level. But what's rough about Irish paganism is modernized. I'd just call it neo Irish paganism. Is they combine Norse too much because yes, the Vikings
And
did.
they get into like shamanism
Yeah,
and
and
like
that's a
Celtic
very
shamanism,
Viking.
and shamanism is not a thing. Celtic shamanism does not exist. There is no. It's not a thing. It was
Well,
never a
even
thing.
using the term Celtic, though, bro, is a very big blanket term because that covers the Irish Wale, that covers the British Wales, that covers
Yeah, that's why
Ireland.
that's why they're like really big on saying no, it's not Celtic paganism, it's Irish paganism. You
Yeah,
know,
because if you celebrate Celtic paganism, that means you acknowledge all of the gods of like Germany, Austria, uh,
yeah.
Wales, and that's a big. Cernunnos is not an Irish deity. He's a Celtic deity because he is found throughout Scotland, Wales, Germany, but he was never found in Ireland.
I did not know that.
Yes, there was no horned god in Ireland. However, arguably, the Dagda may have been a horned deity because one of his earlier names was the Horned One.
Yeah,
Uh,
Dogda in mythology is Bridget's dad. So
yeah, and also in Irish mythology, he's kind of the Irish equivalent of Odin.
yeah, he's like the Irish Odin, except he's less of a dick.
He's less than a dick, but he has a big dick. In some
Yeah, apparently.
in some stories,
Yeah,
that
he's got like
club
a
that he
knack.
carries.
Yeah,
That's supposedly his dick in some mythologies.
I did not know that. Just wandering around beating people this strong.
What's really weird is the ancients even had like a very crude sense of humor because I don't know how familiar you are with Egyptian mythology.
Not too much. I know like Osiris and shit like that,
They had a
and
god by the
Anubis.
name of Men who had a massive erection. That's literally his thing. He had, he had an erection. He was the god of fertility, and he was actually celebrated in festivals. They would eat. I don't know if you know this or not, but lettuce. Certain types of lettuce will release a chemical in it that not only causes like psychedelic effects, but it also is a what's that called when it makes you horny? A I forget what it is, but it makes people.
Aphrodisiac.
Yeah, it's an aphrodisiac. It's like a white milky liquid that comes from this lettuce, and they would use it in their salads and shit and hallucinate. And due to it looking like a certain substance, it was celebrated in fertility festivals.
Fuck yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then you had in Greece, I find it funny that sex is so taboo according to some religions, because even in Greece, they had a god by the name of Priapus who had a giant horse dong. That was his mythology. That was it.
Isn't priapism like when you have a nonstop erection that won't go away?
They named that after an old Greek god
Yeah. I knew it.
because he had a giant horse dong that wouldn't go soft. That was literally his mythology. But yeah, going back to Irish paganism, I'm not here to when I discuss any type of paganism or anything like the thing says below. I'm using my best knowledge and my own interpretations. I never mean to culturally appropriate, but the way that I approach paganism or any of the gods really is kind of a Luciferian approach in a way. They view them as archetypes of your own self and nature, not necessarily externalized beings. They're more of a way for us to explain the universe and things within it and our own subconscious.
so so like the Levian aspect.
No, no, no. Levan Satanism is completely different than Luciferianism. They're completely different viewpoints altogether. LeVay
I don't
was
know shit about that stuff.
LaVey was a atheist who was an adversary to the church and did things to upset the church. Um, if you don't mind going down this rabbit hole, I will gladly go down it with you.
No. I just know that they're kind of like there's actual like Luciferian like Satanists that do black magic and all that shit, and then there's like other Satanist quote unquote Luciferians that are more like just like atheists with archetypes where they really don't believe in any of it.
Well, you're kind
It's
of
just
combining two different mindsets. You're combining Anton LaVey and kind of a Michael W. Ford type Luciferianism,
okay.
which I understand why you think that way because there's been a lot of dogma attached to it and a lot of misunderstandings. Luciferians more so use the term Lucifer not as the deity and the devil of the Christian church. They use it more so as the original term that was used in Latin, which was also a Roman god. Lucifer was symbolic of the planet Venus, which for a lot of people is symbolic of enlightenment and of knowledge. And the term Lucifer was actually a mistranslation from the Old Testament. They were describing a Babylonian king and how he fell from power, but at one time he was considered a Lucifer, a Venus, which he was very enlightening and all that other shit, but he fell from power. Oh, you have fallen, Lucifer was actually how that term was used, from my understanding, anyway.
Huh.
Yeah. It was more so a title than anything. Kind of like
Yeah.
how Phosphorus is a title for Dionysus, but was also a old Greek god. Symbolic also of Venus, believe it or not.
So there's a lot of shit to unpack there. I just know that that's like my basic understanding. That's kind of rudimentary, but that's just from
Hey, bro,
talking to people.
I don't know everything. You don't know everything. I'm not trying to come across as being like facetious because there are some things that we don't know. Hell, I could even be wrong. To quote Plato, the only thing we know is that we don't know.
I thought that was something Socrates said.
I think it was Socrates. Now that I'm thinking about it, it might have been Socrates.
And
The
I
only
know he also said like the well examined, a life not well examined isn't a life worth living.
I think it was Socrates because he didn't write anything down. Most of his quotes was from other people. Wasn't he the one
Yeah,
that like always questioned everything and then got killed because of it?
yeah, they basically fucking killed him for it.
You know that you're becoming way too powerful vessel of knowledge when they try to kill you.
Yeah, and they make you. You're like, well, you know, you can either go to court for all this shit you're doing, and like go to court and like end up going to prison anyway, or you can drink this hemlock shit and die. You know.
And he even held on to that shit till the day he died because if I'm not mistaken, it was Socrates that questioned why they were even killing him.
So he's like, oh, okay, well, okay.
Now, the reason why I got Plato mixed up is because I was looking him up earlier. He was the one that had the only account of Atlantis, which I think is interesting.
And then I have Aristotle's rhetoric.
I love Aristotle. I also love modern philosophers. I don't know if you follow any modern people that would be considered philosophers, but ever read into Mark Manson?
No, I really don't. I study a lot of the older philosophers. I don't really know any of the newer ones.
This dude has a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and it is beautiful.
Oh, that dude. I have looked at that. I have looked at that book.
He is hilariously amazing, and he has a lot of great insight. He also has a book called Everything's Fucked, A Story of Hope.
Yeah, I've heard of this dude. I do know who you're talking about.
I love how the later it's becoming, the more my screen's starting to look like yours. So I think you'd appreciate this because I don't know why, but I chose to wear this for this podcast. I've been wearing it all week, but I decided to keep it on for the podcast. And now that you're into Irish paganism, I think you would appreciate it. Give me 1 second. It's the old school, well, it's a modernized version, but it's the Irish sun cross.
Oh, that's cool. That's pretty.
It has the triquetra in the middle of it, or in the
Yeah, those
on the
things,
arms of it.
yeah, those things are beautiful. Those things are beautiful. I'm taking a trip to Ireland in September, actually.
That's awesome, dude. You can actually
Gonna be-
buy this type of jewelry, stainless steel. I bought it off of AliExpress for like $1.
That's awesome. I'm gonna be there for like 9 days, so I'm
Dude,
gonna
you're
be.
going to Ireland for 9 days and you didn't
Yeah,
invite me.
it was a family trip. It's like a bucket. It's like a bucket list thing. So
I hope you have a blast, bro. Take pictures and send them to me because I really want to go. It's my goal to go to Ireland, Scotland, Austria, and Denmark in my life because Denmark, I've just had really weird. I want to go there. And the reason why I want to go to Austria and Ireland and Scotland is because that is where my closest ancestors that I know of came from that isn't United States citizens. I've never met those people, but I know for a fact that's where my closest ancestors came from that isn't the United States. I know I'm Celtic, and I say Celtic because it's Scotch and Irish. I know I'm Celtic because I have a book about my family ancestry, and I guess my great 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 uncle or something like that was part of one of the Irish Scottish tribes that came to the Appalachia, however you pronounce it. I have a friend that's very anal about that shit, but they came here from Ireland, so I really want to go, and I know you
yeah,
probably. Sorry, go
a
ahead.
lot of my family, as far as I know, I don't know where my dad's side's supposedly German, but I don't really know. I haven't
What
really looked into it.
what year did they come?
I have no idea.
Because if they came like 1940s ish, I got bad news for you.
my pa- my my parents, my mom's side, they came over like pre-Revolutionary War from
Jesus.
Ireland. Yeah, and like settled in the area of like what was like Putnam County and stuff like that in West Virginia.
Crazy, dude. Have you done one of them ancestry tests or do you plan on doing one?
I would like to do one. Yeah, I would like to. I want do one. Want to do one. I do want to do one of those like 23andMe type things where you spit and then do they
I, I
form your mouth.
I think it's more accurate to do. I think certain ones are like a P one. And I think those might be more. I'm not sure. I'm not a genealogist, but I heard they're all pretty like 99% accurate is most of them lately. So I think either one you pick is fine. They will break your heart sometimes, so bear that in mind. I,
Yeah.
I had a friend that took one recently. He's like, I want to know how German I am. So he went, he did the
And
spit.
he's not German at all.
He is, I think it said, I might be a little off, but I think it said like 60% Scandinavian and like 20% Jewish.
That's the big contrast from German.
I'm like, that's German, kind of, but like, I want to get him a gift so bad. I want to get him one of them yarmulkes, but I want to put like Viking ones on it because
That's cool. I'm cool with Viking horns.
it's my ongoing joke that he's my little Viking Jew. So I'm going to give him little little, little yarmulke with little Viking.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
But but back to do you have Celtic or Irish, I should say, jewelry yet?
I used to have a Celtic cross, and I have one tattooed on my arm.
The pain is I call myself eclectic. I don't really throw much titles on it because I pull my thoughts and I continue to grow my spiritual path. I pull from different belief systems and shit because I think we're all connected in some way. They're all telling the same story just in different ways.
That's
And
why I
even
call myself. That's the term for the term I've heard for that is an omnis. That
yeah,
basically believes everything's connected.
yeah, omnism is a very popular term for people that pull from everything. I don't typically pull from Christianity in a way. Not that the story's bad. It's just I had it beaten into me so much as a kid that it kind of died off. There's a lot of underlying dogma there, and I'm not saying that I won't go back to some of the thoughts because there's some good thoughts in there. But when you dig into Irish, like I said earlier, you get a lot of Viking stuff. And people think like runes is the big thing in Ireland, but it's not. Runes are not Irish culture, it's Ogham text.
Yeah, you know what you're talking about. I was
It's
just
the
getting ready
text,
to say that.
yeah, it's the text of the trees. Um, and it's very beautiful, but it's hard to find jewelry of it because everything's fucking runes.
You just have to have something like one is literally like one piece of home is literally like a lot like a straight line with like a right diagonal line through it.
Yeah, I, I've actually been kind of learning it, but like I said, my pronunciations of Irish shit is like bad. So I need like somebody to teach me how to say this because, and when I say shit, I don't mean it in a negative way. That's just the way I talk. Uh, but it's just, it's hard because I applaud anyone learning a new language. But yeah, Ogham or Ogham, however you pronunciate it, is is just literally like you said a line, but it either has lines this way, through it, diagonal, and,
Yeah,
and you read it technically bottom to top.
yeah.
You read it backwards or upside down.
But yeah, I was taking Duolingo for Gaelic, and then one of my friends was somebody in an Ireland that was actually on an Ireland forum said, "Don't use Duolingo. It's okay, but it's not as good as like." Somebody actually suggested a channel that you can get. I can't even remember the name of it, but it's like a streaming channel, and it is a children's show, and they all speak in Gaelic, but the subtitles are in English. They said it's actually a really good way to learn Gaelic
So it's
because
like the Dora the Explorer of fucking Gaelic.
yeah, but it's like a children's show, and everything's laid out very simply. It's like it has it's subtitled in English. And I was like, shit, that makes sense.
Well, the beautiful thing though about omnism and like pulling from different languages like Gaelic and stuff, the fact is none of us are really the origin we think we are, whatever, because we all derive and share different cultures within our own bloodline. So
Yeah.
mixing it would actually be the truest form of your culture you can be.
Oh yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
By the way, I don't know if you have any time restraints, but normally I go about an hour, hour and a half. We can go longer if you want, but I might be ending it here in about 10 to 20 minutes unless you want to continue, of course. But you're always welcome back on, bro. This is literally all I do. I just sit here on this podcast and bullshit.
Dude, I could be a fucking regular. I don't care.
I don't give a fuck. I just do this honestly to like go back to that Rick Rubin quote. I do this for me. I do this to help me get my words out there, get my thoughts out there, get my reach the people that want to hear what I have to say and people that don't
Well,
even.
yeah. No, yeah,
So
man. If you if you once you finish the book and want to have me on again, just to like cover more of it, I'm down, man. I'm down for it.
yeah, dude,
Uh,
whatever. I actually have a. Do you have a Discord?
I do have Discord, yes.
I'm trying to get it going. I've been lazy. I'll be honest with this podcast. I've been lazy with my Discord. I'm trying to get better at it. I need your guys' help because I need you guys to join this thing so that it gives me a reason to be in a chat. I don't like being in there by myself. So join the Discord. It's called Unleashed Coven. You can actually find it on my website, usenick.com. USENICK.com. If you don't use Nick, you'll lose Nick. You need to get yourself a really cool website like that, buddy.
Yeah, I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of poets and writers do self promotion by making like black box, like like white box windows,
Mhm.
like text windows, and then they'll put like some of the stuff that they've written, like little pieces of stuff that they've written, like in typeface, and it's like a self promote. And I don't know how to fucking do that shit. So I even suck at fucking Photoshop, bro. Like,
Dude, where there's will, there's a way, and I might get hate for this, but fuck it. AI is a very good tool, not for art necessarily, because they do steal some art, but to gather information or ways that you can do stuff better, or ways that you can promote yourself. You have to find out how to talk to it, but it will literally help you grow. You can do that with anything really through AI, and I think AI is
I've used I've
good.
only used AI once because I wrote a song and then I was like, give me chords for this song, and it broke it down like it broke it down by structure
Yeah.
and everything, and it even gave me like some lead fills for it. I was like, okay, that'll work.
Now, I do admit too much AI or too much of anything is a bad thing, but it
Too
could
much
be a
reason.
very helpful and useful tool to help you not only find information, because you can even have it give you sources for where it found that information if they didn't just pull it out of their ass, because sometimes with technology shit happens. But you can find sources. You can look into mythology. I've been using it for that. You can dig deep into like life. You could even find different therapeutic ways of handling your life. You can help with your own poetry. You can ask it, hey, like, how could I do better with this, or what's your opinion? And it's very helpful tool. I see a lot of people hating on it because it does have its negatives, but with anything, it could be a great tool, and it has been a great tool for many people.
I've used it to critique some of the stuff I've written and
Sure.
like where I could improve and not improve under different styles too. And sometimes it's just fun to fuck with. I mean, a while back I was like, give me an SNL weekend update sketch as Chris Farley with Chris Farley as Mayor Rob Ford from Toronto.
That's hilarious. Well, I've used it for art to promote myself. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've used it, but the thing is, I don't feel like I'm stealing art from other people because I'm using my likeness
Yeah.
to create the art. Which is controversial, but controversy creates cash. Come at me. Like, like,
Okay, Eric Bischoff.
I like that you got the reference. I was told a very good compliment today, so I'm going to share it. Somebody told me I look like a 70s rock star who retired and became an 80s porn star.
That's good.
Like, wow. Another guy told me one time that I look like I grow shrooms in my basement. I'm like, I don't have a basement. Anyway.
What's the name of that? What's the name of that dude from? That dude from that metal band that's been going around that has the handlebar mustache and the crazy fucking white hair. That
Pentagram.
dude. You look like yes, Pentagram. That's your dad, bro.
What's
That's
funny
the
is that
dude.
I do enjoy Pentagram's music, and Bobby Liebling is arguably the United States' version of Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
The dude's a nutcase. He is. He's had his drug problems, and I'm not saying that to be demeaning, because he does have his good qualities too, and he's a great musician. He has his dark sides. He has his good days, but the dude is crazy. And have you seen the documentary Last Days Here? He has a documentary about that follows his life, and this came out in like 2005, I want to say, maybe. It's following his life at that time. He's a rundown rocker with a drug problem, and at that time he was, I guess, spending like $500,000 a year on H. Yeah. And the whole,
How are you still alive?
well, it wasn't just H, it was like crack and shit. But anyway, this is for educational purposes. Don't take this down, YouTube. This is for educational purposes. But he survived. Yes, he survived. But in this documentary, it's following that habit, but also following, he has this diehard fan who really wants to see him succeed again. He wants to see that shine because he believes that he deserves that type of fame. But it's also following why the band hasn't made it big, all the times that he's messed up. He had Kiss at his house and ruined it. He came out, Pentagram came out about the same time Black Sabbath did, but never saw the fame because of he didn't have his Sharon, is what I would say. But this documentary pretty much is following his comeback and whether or not this fan can pull off the comeback of that year. And the documentary is beautiful, and upsetting and sad at times too. But it's very upsetting what came afterwards. He did relapse afterwards.
Hey, every addict relapses.
What?
Usually. A lot of addicts do relapse, so, you know.
He did relapse, but fortunately enough, one of the incidents that happened did not end up unaliving the person it happened to. He did push his like 80-something-year-old mom down steps or some shit.
Oh my God.
But he's fine now. She's fine now. He's sober now. And he's actually seeing a whole new leg of fame with the whole meme that's going around. But the negative is his past is coming back to haunt him, even though he's not that person anymore. He's not allowed to do, he recently had to pull shows overseas because of that past catching up with him, which I think is wrong. He paid mentally for that. He paid criminally for that. I don't think we should damn him as a person nowadays.
No. But man, there's some good documentaries like that out there. Shit. The Resurrection of Jake the Snake was a good one too.
Have you seen 9 Lives of Ozzy Osbourne?
I have not seen that
one. By the way, not to take away from what you said, the Resurrection of Jake is great. Shout out to Diamond Dallas Page. That dude's fucking national treasure. He saved so many.
He's saved so many people.
But the 9 Lives of Ozzy documentary came out a few years ago. It's literally, they set him and Sharon down and they went through his life. Every bad detail, every good detail they covered. Going back to the transparency as a person thing and being comfortable with who you are, there's a scene in there that is very hard to watch. It's Ozzy talking about how he woke up in prison and found out he was in prison for the attempted unaliving of his wife.
Yeah.
And they both covered it in detail, more so Sharon than Ozzy, because he don't remember it. But I have a fucked up sense of humor. It doesn't necessarily mean that I find the situation funny. It's just the timing of the comments and like the things that are said. But when they asked Ozzy, they're like, "Do you regret doing that?" And he responded with, "It's not my happiest fucking moment." Like, I guess it's pretty obvious.
Like, what the fuck do you want me to say?
But I can't hate a person for, unless you're going around like harming children and like doing horrible shit all the time with no remorse, then yes, you should be demonized by society. But
Yeah, like that dude from Lost Prophets. Fuck that dude.
yeah, fuck that dude.
That dude was a fucking monster.
But also as society, we have demonized people based on allegations and not reality, like proof. Like for
There's a
instance,
few people. There's a few people that I have my fucking gripes with.
right?
I'll list them off. Fuck Jesse Lacey can fuck himself. Brand new. He can fucking fall off a cliff. Fuck him. Because his whole apology. Oh, he apologized. No, he was basically like, well, I'm a shithead and kind of said so in my music, so you should have known. No, that's not an apology, dude. Fuck you.
Well, the thing is, though, is what I was getting at is like there's people that was demonized by society without us receiving any like proof to wrongdoing. We just received
Yeah.
snippets to make them look bad. Like for instance, Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, I heard that was kind of a clusterfuck.
I'm not here to say one way or another. I'm really not. But we have not received. I personally have not received enough information on what happened. As far as I'm concerned, he was found innocent in the court of law, so we have to move past this.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he did some fucked up stuff, but hey, he's Marilyn Manson. Yeah, he's gonna have some fucked up proclivities.
Yeah, but
So,
can we admit as a society that all of our heroes and even ourselves are fucked up people altogether? And we should just realize that if something fucked up happens, maybe it's true, but if the evidence don't say so, then we have to realize they're human. And unless we are given an actual reason to dislike them through factual evidence,
yeah,
then we have to look past that.
yeah. There's a few people growing up in the emo scene. There's some fucking undesirable motherfuckers.
Warp Tour was undesirable.
Fuck you. Kiss my ass.
Yeah, but like, look at it. Like 60% of the bands that have performed at Warp Tour have had at least allegations against them for very fucked
Oh
up shit.
yeah, that is true.
I'm not
I
going to
can't do
name names because if I named names, there will be blood on the dance floor.
Oh my god.
That's all I'm going to say.
Fuck that guy.
You know it's bad when you're being investigated by Chris Hansen.
Fuck him. Fuck Dove Humanity. Fuck Jesse Lacey.
They're
Fuck
not even blood on the dance floor anymore. He changed his name recently.
It's like Kawaii Monster now.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But like, I know that I'm kind of contradicting myself because people will claim there is no evidence of that. But I've seen screenshots of conversations before AI was big. I've seen fans coming forward with actual screenshots of some really
A lot
great
of
shit
fans
that he
came
said.
forward. A lot of fans came forward. That motherfucker. A woman in a band. Another woman in a band came forward. I think it was New Year's Day. She came out and said that he like did shit, creepy
Yeah.
shit to her.
And what's crazy is like a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, Mike, but you're a Michael Jackson fan. There has been no evidence, substantial evidence against Michael Jackson. Yes, publicly, people hate that man because of things that have been accused. However, all but one child defended that man, and that child defended him until he was 30 years old and broke.
Yeah. And then, like, yeah, so let's see. Jesse Lacey, fucking, man, Jesus Christ, man. It's getting bad out there for emo bands. Fucking Jesse Lacey, fucking Navi Vanity. I don't even consider that bullshit fucking emo.
I'd be lying if I was to say I never like heard them because like kids are immature when we were young. But like I was into some pretty edgy music. I listened to Mindless Self-Indulgence, Guar and shit, but they were at least musically tolerable. And I was big into electronic music, but like Blood on the Dance Floor seemed like they tried too hard.
Yeah, and then who else? Fucking Dance Gavin Dance. Yeah, they can also fucking fall off a cliff. Fucking Dance Gavin. Who the fuck? That's a dumb fucking name too. Dance Gavin Dance.
I could hear the tears as you're naming these bands. Oh.
No, I hate Dance Gavin Dance because I know someone personally that was assaulted by that motherfucker in their band. So
I'm
fuck
sorry.
him. Fuck their fans.
Am I going to end up with a cease and desist order?
God, even fucking God, I love fucking Say Anything now, and it turns out that fucking we'll probably get, you may have to clean this up, but Max Bemis from Say Anything basically assaulted his wife while she was passed out on wine and fucking codeine.
I'm probably going to edit out this last half.
There
was
and then put it in a song, like admitted that he did it in a fucking song.
I'm going to say right now that I do not support anything that is stated, and it is for entertainment purposes only. Because I'm just trying to save my ass here.
Look, man, I have gripes with some of these bands, and I will fully say them and say why. Jesus God.
I know there was an artist one time.
Look, I know. We as emo kids, we get a bad rap, but come on, like, can't we have nice things? Stop touching girls. Stop it.
You can touch them as long as it's of age and consensual. Yes.
Does she have to be 14, you sick fuck?
Like I said, of age.
And consensual.
I mean, we do have a lot of creeps out there, and it's unfortunate, very unfortunate.
Why are they all in emo bands?
But good thing Jeffrey Epstein never existed. Thank goodness for that.
he totally killed himself.
He totally didn't exist. The files never existed.
What files? What island?
Maxwell was never arrested. Certain somebody never wished her well when she got arrested.
And Trump never sent anybody a birthday card in his life. What are you talking about?
I don't know how to spell. He didn't write like
I don't know how to draw. I've never drawn.
The best thing to happen out of society right now, even though society, it's hard for South Park to make episodes right now, but Stephen Colbert was recently fired, regardless of what people think of the situation. I am so ready for a angry, bitter Stephen Colbert who has nothing to lose for these next 2 months to just let it rip.
He's probably going to. It's coming. God, it's coming so hard.
And the thing is I'm not, a lot of my viewpoints are considered liberal, but like, I'm not a Democrat. I don't like the Democratic Party, and I don't like the Republican Party. I just don't like when I address things that I don't agree with, or like a complete stance that I don't like, and next thing I know, I'm un-American in people's eyes, or I don't like the president, which I don't, but I don't like the president. But as an American, we shouldn't like the president. We should hold him accountable. He shouldn't be allowed to fucking hide files from people. He shouldn't be allowed to have half the shit that he's done. Why can't we hold the president accountable? Why does it have to be a fucking cult?
Cult of personality, man.
Like, I don't know. People hated, Republicans and Democrats disliked Bush when he was president. That's one thing a lot of people agreed on.
Everybody's like, I remember seeing a comedian I like, Steve Hofstetter. Somebody was like, he's like, you don't like Trump? well, why don't you just leave the country? His reply to the feud was like, well, you didn't like Biden either, so why didn't you leave?
I
Why
saw
didn't you leave?
another one Steve Hofstetter posted. I think it was Steve, maybe. Is he Canadian?
Oh, he's been absolutely fucking savage, and I love it.
Is it Steve that's Canadian, or am I thinking of a different comedian?
No, you're probably thinking of a different guy. Steve's like originally like from New York City.
Okay, because comedian similar to Steve, because I follow Steve as well, posted online. Somebody's like, if you don't like it, move. And they're like, sir, I'm Canadian. Like, oh my God. No, Steve's great. I love Steve Hofstetter. But the thing is if I post anything bad about my views or anything negative about my views on what the government's currently doing, I'm un-American. I should move. But like, could you imagine if that was the mindset during like woman suffrage or slavery? I can move. America was literally founded on question the laws, question the government, and fight for a better country.
That's why I hate these fucking 1% motherfuckers with the 1776. It's like you're totally missing the point. You're totally missing the point.
I don't understand the mindset of wanting to go back to a greatness we never had.
No, it never existed.
The country was as great as it ever was. There was more equality. There was more. I don't even understand the call me new school, call me liberal, whatever, but I don't even understand the obsession with the genitals of the person in the stall next to you. That don't make sense to me. I'm there to shit. I don't care what that person next to me has in their pants.
Me neither.
Like, if you're that
Like,
worried about it, remove urinals from all bathrooms and make them unisex. If you're that fucking worried about it, there are creeps in. Your chances of being molested in church is higher likely than in a fucking public bathroom.
No, I'm
You
here to
can
take a piss, man.
you can look that up.
Oh, that's fucking true. I guarantee it is.
And I'm not saying that to be negative towards any religion. I respect all religions, I really do, but I'll question it because that's if I can't question something, then that means there's fallacies within that system. But anyway, uh, I don't understand why we have to keep it a secret.
I understand why people are so obsessed with it either. I don't understand like I don't understand this new fad of saying, oh, people that are transgender are mentally ill. That was the same thing they were saying about gay people, homosexuals many years ago.
We're acting like, not me and you, but like society as a whole is acting like transgender is a new thing and not
It's
transsexual.
not.
It's not. Ancient Egyptians didn't have sex. They had sex, but they didn't have a gender, I should say. They wore fucking dresses and fucked whatever had legs. Like, and I'm not trying to be facetious. Their
I
entire
know.
belief system is they had multiple sex partners. They fucked whatever. There was a pharaoh that.
Indian, the Native Americans almost did Indians. I apologize. Native Americans have two spirit.
Well, actually, did you know that the term Indian, and George Carlin brought this up in a meeting, he said the term Indian, there is no negative connotation. Christopher Columbus did not name them Indians because of India. India didn't exist when Christopher Columbus came here.
Yeah.
India was not the name of that place. Indian's original term, hold on, let me look it up, make sure I'm correct. Indians actually was a term. Hold on. I'm trying to find it because hold on. The original Indian name. Fuck, I'm gonna have to use Chat GPT. God, I'm good. Fuck. I hate when shit goes slow. I believe the original terminology. Hold on. Okay, the original meaning of Indian is the Greek word. Okay, the Greek word. I'm trying to find it. So he was on his way. There's actually various versions of the word. So the Greek word Indios was actually for people in the Indus region. Um, but it can also be a indigenous people, blah blah blah. So it could have very well have been a geographical thing. I forget the video I watched, so I don't want to be 100% wrong, but I think there was a original word that meant like people of God. That was the word Indian, but that could be a mistaken error. So do your own research. But I don't understand the concept of allowing words to offend or upset us because you're giving those words that strength. If you use them freely, not in a hateful way, but use them freely, saying like this person said this, or jokingly call a friend that or whatever, not in a facetious way, but just playfully, we will no longer be upset when somebody says it in a hateful way. Because when they come out and say, you're
Yeah.
up, you're like, hey, yeah, whatever. And then we just continue about our day. We're
Well,
giving these words power.
that does make sense from a person, from a person that from the standpoint as a comedian, then yeah, it's completely understandable. But there's some words that you just can't say. I don't have a problem with most words, but words like some words like the racist terms, like it's like hard. Where is that line drawn? You know,
See, I agree. From a personal standpoint, I do agree because there's certain words I will not personally use for obvious societal reasons, and I don't want to come across in a way that I don't mean to come across.
yeah,
However, those same words are okay for certain people to say.
yeah. Like
So,
I,
so isn't it? I'm going to play the devil's advocate. Isn't it racist to say that certain people can't say it because they're not of the right race to say it? Like, where do we as a culture just say we shouldn't use these words at all?
I don't know. There's like I said, that's a good point. There's
Mhm.
just some words that have a lot of uh, there's some words that have a lot of venom and hate and shit behind them, and it's just
I agree, but to quote George Carlin, which I just have to quote that guy because he's a modern philosopher, even though he's dead now. But he said that like it's not the words that are bad; it's the context. It's the way you say it because there's certain words, including even the N word. Certain white people have said it over time, not in a non-hateful way, and have gotten away with it because they're part of that culture. They might not be directly part of the culture, but they are connected to that culture, whether it be through friends, family, or whatever. I know several people of my skin complexion that are technically part black. So they freely use the word in a non hateful way and they're able to. So where do we draw the line?
that's like a whole can of worms. And I don't know, man. As a person that is predominantly fucking white and Irish as fuck, and has been uh, multiple has been educated very much though about his whiteness and his white privilege. And
Bro, you have family from Caucasia. That's how white you are.
yeah, I'm very white, man. So shout out to April Childers, the Paradox, for educating me on my whiteness and being an awesome person. Also, by the way, go buy books from her. Also, shout out, go buy some cheap books from her and learn a thing or two, especially about how not to be an asshole. And she also gives away free little zines that are uh, basically on basically like mutual aid, uh, very liberal minded on how to help each other and start a revolution. So uh, I, definitely going to shout her out and put it in the plugs for her because she's awesome. And so is her story.
I love that about her. I'm sorry if I interrupted. I was just adding that I love that about her.
You familiar with her?
What was the name again? You're kind of low.
April Childers.
I know her by name. I'm awful with names, bro. I'm really good with faces. Um,
She basically runs the Paradox bookstore. That's her.
I believe I know her, and I know of her, and I may have ran into her, and I might know her personally. I'm awful with names. I connect with spirits and with people. I don't
She
really care.
probably you'd know if you saw her. She'd probably had her dog with her because she has MS, so she
See,
carries
I
it
feel
just
bad because like it feels impersonal to some people that I don't remember their name, but it's really not. I connect with souls. I connect with the person.
I'm the same way, dude. I remember faces that I can't fucking remember names in my life.
But I was gonna say so. Oh yeah, why is it a controversial or even political thing now to have common human sympathy for other people and to care about other people and not be selfish and not want laws that hurt other people?
I don't understand that either. If you show I don't understand people that even think empathy or sympathy is funny. What is funny about it?
Like I don't get it.
I
Like
don't get it either, man.
it's kind of hard for me in a way because I'm also a comedian. So like there are some controversial things that I will say, but I say them because I think it exposes society or makes something funny that it shouldn't be funny. It doesn't mean that I find that thing funny personally, if that makes any sense to anyone that's in the
No, the remember the sole purpose of the comedian at once, it kind of evolved from the court jester that was that called the king out to make him accountable for his actions.
I was actually going to do a whole video on this because, as you know, I'm like into like history and mythology, and I'm a big into comedy. And comedy was not designed to make people laugh originally, like you stated. It's the job. The court jester was supposed to expose and mock the king, and he was paid most of the time by the king to do so,
Yeah.
to hold them accountable, which is crazy because that dates back to going back to Greece. The Greeks had a god called Momus who got kicked out of Olympus because he mocked the gods.
So so I understand the context of what basically what you do. You're supposed to call out society's ills, and it might hurt some people's feelings, but
Yeah,
uh, we have to hold a lens up to each other, up to everything, and no matter how we choose to do it, whether it's through comedy, through words, through the human condition. I feel my space and my creation is very more of the human condition and existentialism in that uh, in that basic shape or form
exactly.
through writing, basically.
That's
So
what
we all hold a lens up to the world differently, and that's why we choose to create the way we do,
exactly.
whether it's writing, comedy, or whatever.
And I honestly think when it comes to comedy, there should be no limits to what you joke about and what you mock as a society or even as a condition. That the old quote from Gilbert Gottfried, he was actually the first comedian to tell a 9/11 joke. He did it
Oh,
day after in New York or 2 days after in New York. Was it hard to tell? Did it get laughs? Maybe not. But we should still be able to make light of reality. We still should be able to joke because that's how certain people get through trauma. And it is wrong of us to expect other people to adhere to the, oh, we can't joke about that. No, fuck you, we can. The old quote that I was referring to is Gilbert Gottfried said, "There is no too soon, there's too late." You want to be the first comedian to mock that thing about society or joke about that thing in society, whether it's uncomfortable or not. That's up for debate, but I'm still going to say it.
Yeah, I watched that documentary about him that was actually really good. Like,
Yeah. Do you know who told the first 9/11 joke? Kind of.
uh,
George Carlin was working on a special in New York a few weeks, maybe a week before 9/11 happened.
really?
Before 9/11 happened. And the name of the special was "I Kind of Like It When a Lot of People Die." And he did a joke about how he likes when planes hit major buildings and a lot of people die. Um, and you know how George is. He was very dark and shit. So he did that bit. Like a week later, 9/11 happened. So he went back to New York a year later and re-recorded the whole special, but without
Yeah.
that joke. And at the beginning of that special, there's an Easter egg. He said, "It's time to do the special I was wanting to do up until September 10th." They actually did release that special finally, decades later. It's on YouTube.
I'll have to dig for it.
And you can also buy the CD of it.
I have a lot of there's some comedians that I really like. He's one of my favorite comedians. Carlin was. I really like Bill Hicks.
Bro,
A
we
lot of
need
political.
Carlin now more than ever.
Uh, yes, he'd be tearing this country apart.
I had people try to tell me over the last few years. Somebody told me like, "Oh, Carlin would have supported Obama. He would have supported Biden. He would have supported Trump." No, none of them. that man would have torn this country a new ass.
I really like some of my favorite comedians. He was one of them. I really liked. I really liked Mitch Hedberg.
Oh fuck, I love Mitch.
Mitch just man, he was the king of one-liners.
A friend of mine he's a comedian and he went to a Halloween show one time and he decided to do his entire set as Mitch Hedberg. So
That's amazing.
he dressed up like Mitch and he decided to
Did
write,
like
yeah, he wrote his own jokes, but in the style of Mitch Hedberg.
And then I really like
It's crazy.
my favorite living comedians are probably Patton Oswalt. I love him.
Fucking love
He's
that.
definitely the nerd's comedian.
Brian Posehn,
And
another good nerd comedian.
yeah, I love him too. And then he kind of disappeared, but I really like Stephen Lynch.
Stephen Lynch is really good. He actually, I think he took a break from comedy. He did release a special, or not a special, an album a few years back, and then he kind of just disappeared.
And
Uh,
Bo Burnham, man, he kind of disappeared too. But man,
you know,
that
who
special
else,
he did it.
you know who else is good, but he actually sadly passed somewhat recently. Trevor Moore.
Not real familiar with him.
He was the one of the main writers. There's a lot of them, but he was one of the main writers of The Whitest Kid You Know.
Oh God, those guys are hilarious.
Yeah. He was the guy with the long hair.
Yeah.
He was the one that sung "Get a New Daddy, Get a New Daddy. The police will take the old one away in a caddy." Well, he did solo stuff too, and it's really good. He has a song called "High in Church." He has a song called I think it was "Whitest Kid You Know" when he did this one, but "Totally Gay for America." It should be the new theme song for America. But buddy, where can we find you before I cut this off? Because I feel like we've talked about a lot of things, but not how to find you. So if people want to follow you, do you have a place where we can follow you?
John,
If not right now, you will be back. So no pressure. I just want to make sure you promoted everything you wanted to promote.
Well, I have my personal Facebook, which is under my name, of course,
Well,
and
say
I
your name.
have
You have it this whole time, bro. Your name's not very bright right now.
when I realized my screen was black, that's why I put it.
So
But
where can we find you?
uh, my name is Ben Casteel. I have a Facebook, personal Facebook, and a I do have a Facebook for my writing, but I have not really touched it, so there's nothing there. But I may change that. But it is just facebook.com/poetic license to kill.
Heard that. I'll send me that link on Facebook like right now, and I will put it in the description. This is one of the few episodes I am going to have to edit because I don't want to get sued. You son of a bitch.
Fuck it.
I might post it unedited. I don't know. The,
That's
the,
why you do that. That's why you do shit on Patreon, man.
the thing is, though, bro, is like this is your opinion, not necessarily mine, and it's for entertainment purposes only. I mean, if you don't like a person's opinion about yourself, then you got to do some shadow work. But I love chatting with you, bro. Is there anything else that you want to promote or put out in the ether?
Look, man. I'm big on the art. Right now, I really want to say so much about the flooding that's happened here. Look, man, we still need help. We need donations. Whatever you can do, we need help. Uh, Over here in Wheeling, West Virginia, and yeah, as I want to give some shout outs to some people that in that area, that are in that area that are definitely devastated, need help, and as well as the artist community here. Support the artists here, musicians. Adrian Niles, Bucket of Puppies. Uh, the hardcore punk scene that's starting to develop around here again. Thank God that's coming back. Uh, um, Older States, hell of a metal band, great people. Support them. Uh,
Also, not to interrupt, Altered States is great as well, but there is a benefit coming up for flood relief as well. I like to give a shout out to Wrath of the Fallen. They have a show coming up. During
Rock for a Cause is this weekend at High
Yep,
Tower.
yep, that's the show I am referring to. They have Chinese auction baskets that they're going to have. They're going to be performing with. Sorry, I didn't have it in front of me because I didn't expect to talk about it. Here we go. Rock for a Cause at Hightower Brewery in Rayland, Ohio. It's Wrath of the Fallen. We have Fully Grown Rejects, BFD, and I think the name is Lenny?
Tenpenny.
Tenpenny? Okay, Tenpenny. I can't
Shout
read that.
out to Shout out to Tenpenny and Fully Blown Rejects as well. I'm really good friends with the lead singer, front man of
I
Tenpenny.
appreciate you helping me that because I'm not familiar with the band. I didn't. I feel like I was going to
They
butcher.
actually they actually have an original song that they threw into their set that I wrote that they play. So
Well, here's the flyer I have for it. So if you
cool,
guys want
that's
to check
sweet.
it out, I'm going to be there. You going to be there, bro?
I probably will be if I can get there. I don't drive, so it's hard for me to get around.
Well, I can probably pick you up. I'll be in the
That would
area.
be most appreciated.
Of course, just message me and make sure I still can, but I should be able to. It's this weekend, this Saturday. When was the Alter State show? Was that already happened or?
Yeah, Midsummer Metal Fest. Yeah, that already happened. At the out at the Haunted House in Wells Township.
I remember I saw that advertised. I did see that they had it already. I had a dumbass attack. Altered States is such a they're good for the community and shit. And I've done shows with them actually. I hosted one of their events. The great people, great all around. I really do enjoy them as people. Go check out Wrath of the Fallen too. I have to give them a shout out. My cousin's in that band.
Yeah, those start older states is starting to get like play over in Germany and like Austria and shit. Like
Damn,
people are starting to take notice. So
damn. I know a couple local bands get a lot of radio play and even get to perform in Germany. So Germany's big for this area. I know Iron Flame and Brimstone Coven both get played over there, and I've seen that they performed over there. I do believe.
fuck yeah, Iron Flame. I love Iron Flame, so I love power metal. Brimstone Coven, not so much, but I like Corey's more punk rock shit after school special. I like them more.
I like the joke. I never really got to sit down and talk to Andrew DeCogna much, but I do. I am familiar with his music and I am a fan of his work. I would love to have him on sometime to chat. But I always joke that Brimstone Coven is the area's Black Sabbath, whereas Iron Flame is our Iron Maiden.
Yeah, they're like Dio.
They're like Dio Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Was you a fan of Black Sabbath outside of like Ozzy?
A little bit. I can't say I was really that much of a fan. I mean, I knew his music, but I didn't follow too
Oh,
much.
dude, I'm not even just talking Dio. They had Tony Martin for a while. They had Ian Gillan of Deep Purple for a little bit. There was a lot of hidden gems in the era after Ozzy.
I
And
didn't know that. I knew they had Dio after Ozzy,
do you know
but
who else they
not
had? Do you know who else they had after Ozzy twice?
who.
Rob Halford performed twice as Black Sabbath singer, but never recorded an album.
Oh my God, that would have been amazing.
He stepped in. I think he
Wow.
stepped in when Dio was fired in '94, and then I think he stepped in again in 2004.
Oh God, that would have been fucking awesome. Sabbath was fucking Rob Halford.
You can find the live video of it.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, Tony Martin was a great vocalist. He don't get enough credit. He has a great solo catalog. He sung for Sabbath for a little while.
Speaking of Rob Halford, have you heard of a band called Unleash the Archers?
No, I have not.
Oh my God, that girl. She has pipes. She's like a Rob Halford with tits.
Send me it. I will listen.
I will.
Another Rob Halford thing that you might find interesting is little music trivia. Rob Halford, after he left Priest, was in a band called Fight. Do you know who the lead guitarist of Fight was?
No.
Satchel of Steel Panther.
Jesus.
He was in a thrash metal style band with Rob Halford singing.
That's insane because Steel Panther is like a complete fucking jerk, man.
Listen to Fight. The first album, I think, is the one he was on. He wasn't on the second album. Another
It's like
fun
when you realize
trivia.
it's like when you realize fucking Maynard was in fucking Green Joe.
Yes, Maynard did the not by the hand, and the drum part for the gun part for Rambo.
Yeah,
That was the
yeah.
drummer of Toll.
God damn, that's insane.
What's his name? Danny Carvey or Dana?
Yeah, that dude's an insane drummer.
He is. Another fun Rob Halford trivia that you might not have known. After Fight broke up, he was in a band called Two. And that was the band that he came out of the closet while he was in. That band's guitarist was John Five.
I know John Five's been around. He's been like in a lot of bands.
He's a ghostwriter for a lot of bands too. He's played, his first gig was David Lee Roth. His second one was Marilyn Manson. Then he joined Two with Rob Halford. Then he was with Rob Zombie. Now Motley Crue, and he was a ghostwriter for Salt and Pepper, Leonard Skinner. There's a whole list of them you can find online.
Oh shit! Salt and pepper. What the fuck? Salt and pepper?
He's performed live with them.
That's insane.
But Two is an industrial metal band fronted by Rob Halford that had one album. And it is a lost gem, and it is fucking incredible.
That is insane, though.
They had one music video. And all it is John Five playing guitar around a bunch of porn stars while they're having an orgy, and Rob Halford randomly pops up, sings. John Five did an interview talking about this photo shoot, and he's like, I showed up at a warehouse, and there's just an orgy of porn stars, and Rob nowhere to be found.
He was in the pile somewhere.
Isn't that crazy part of metal history when Rob came out of the closet and then he turned around and said there's nothing more metal than being gay?
I love it. I love it, man.
He's like, what's more anti-authority and anti-establishment than being the one thing that, and this was the 90s-ish. So it was like during the height of the AIDS epidemic where they were demonized for AIDS. And he's like, there's nothing more anti-establishment than being the one thing that society is hating right now.
Yeah, man, I tell you, I'm glad he's around. I'm glad he's still around. I wish Freddie Mercury was still around for all this shit.
Dude, I had the great opportunity to see Judas Priest live a couple times, and I'm actually going to see him again soon. And in his 70s, I think he's in his 70s now, Rob Halford still belts out songs like fucking yesterday, bro. Like this, it's the 70s still. He sings Painkiller exactly the way it sounded years ago.
That's insane.
Another crazy performer at their age is Alice Cooper. He puts on a hell of a show, and he's in
I've heard, yeah.
I got to see Ozzy Osbourne when he was like 70-ish. During his final tour, a couple times I got to see him actually. And even though at that time he was more than likely fighting Parkinson's and didn't know it or was keeping it a secret, but he was still an amazing performer.
Yeah.
I think the most metal thing to do and the most rock and roll thing in general to do is to do your art until your dying breath because you enjoy doing it.
Oh, yeah. Shout outs to guys like fucking, that are still in their 70s or even older, still doing it. Like fucking
Dio did his last performance dying of stage 4 stomach cancer. Lemmy, he was performing and he was fighting cancer, didn't even know it.
Fucking Jesus Christ, fucking Willie Nelson's 93 and still doing it.
Willie Nelson's like 70-year-old son is his drummer.
No.
Willie Nelson is hilarious. He recently came out that he quit smoking pot, and he's like, "I'm dabbing now." He's like Uncle Buck of pot. He's like Uncle Buck of pot. I quit smoking. Now I'm on to dabs, and then I'm going to do edibles, and then maybe I'll meet Martians later.
Willie's amazing. That dude's going to drop dead on stage.
He is. Or he'll just pull an Ozzy and do his final performance knowing it's his last.
Yeah.
The thing with Willie, though, is no disrespect to his music, but the lyrics are so good that he doesn't have to be 100% every night.
No.
The same with Ozzy or some of these guys. Their music touches your soul. The performance might not be as great as it once was, but who the fuck cares? You're there to support them and their career that they've given you.
Right.
It's a mutual exchange. I don't know how many shows I've been to that I don't even know how the performance was because I was in spirit there and I was experiencing the music, not just listening to it.
I feel that way about I've seen Willie, and Willie. I went to a farm and it was amazing.
I want to see Willie so bad. That sounded wrong. Uh,
Seen him, so I've seen Farman.
Willie's one of the
Uh,
few on my list I haven't seen yet.
there's a few people I've seen that are an experience to see.
I got
I've
to
seen
see.
BB.
I never got to see Black Sabbath, but I did get to see Zach Wild's midlife crisis Black Sabbath cover band. He has one. I'm not joking. It's called Zach Sabbath.
That's great. I've seen Zach. I saw him. I saw Zach Wild at the Jimi Hendrix guitar festival that was
Oh, really?
in
That's cool.
Charleston. So
Did you
I've
ever
seen
get to see Zach like with like Black Label or Ozzy even?
no, that was just it was just him like by himself. I believe he did the Hendrix song he did was about If I Don't Live Tomorrow. I believe.
Zach's a very underrated guitar player.
I saw so yeah, as far as experiences go for me, that like say what you want about them. I mean, if you like them, don't like them. But personally, for me, I've seen Buddy Guy 3 times.
Dude, he's
He was an
amazing.
he was an experience every time. He walks out in the fucking crowd and shit.
I
Like,
saw him and he was like celebrating his like 88th birthday or some shit. And he was like playing the Hendrix shit behind his back and like
yeah, He'll walk out into the fucking crowd with that guitar and shit and jam. Saw Springsteen last August, and that was a fucking experience. That whole band's an experience.
love them or
Uh,
hate them. You know who's a really good experience?
uh,
Primus.
I am told they are something else. So fun.
That motherfucker will play some of the hardest bass lines and he'll be dancing and singing like it's nothing. I'm like, what
Yeah,
the fuck are you doing, dude? Ironically, when I
and
saw Primus, they were opening for the first time was Metallica and the second time was Slayer.
they opened up for the strangest bands.
Like
Like,
you're opening for Slayer?
I can't imagine like I can't imagine that doesn't fit in my head. That doesn't work.
The whole
You
lineup
know,
was weird, dude. It was Phil Anselmo doing a Pantera set. It was Ministry, Primus, and then Slayer for Slayer's farewell tour.
This is insane. Like the most like let's see the so Buddy Guy was an experience. I've seen BB King. I saw BB King 3 times too, and he was an experience.
That's cool.
Uh, I love Cody and Cambria. I've seen them twice. They put on a fucking show. They're an
I never got to
experience.
see them yet, even though I look like I could be related. I've never, even though we've never been in the same room, I am not Claudio Sanchez. Just want to clear the air. You couldn't have been all I wanted.
Yeah, I love them. They're an experience, and they both times I'd seen them, they had Mastodon with them, and Mastodon, oh, they're an experience.
Dude, Mastodon puts on a hell of a show.
They brought out the big fucking fish dude at the end.
If you ever get the chance, if you're into like big theatrics, are you into like the big theatrical type bands?
I am.
There's 2 bands that I can name, well, 3 off the top of my head that you really need to see if you haven't. Alice Cooper, of course, because he's the godfather of all that shit.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden. Maiden puts on a hell of a show. Still,
I know they have like the dragons and all kinds of shit.
they had a fucking airplane
Of
like hovering over the audience. Like, what the fuck? And then Rob Zombie.
course, War. You know,
War is fucking crazy. They're out of this world, dude.
and then a lot of people don't like them, but I've seen them. I've seen them at least twice. And Dave Matthews Band puts on a hell of a fucking show. I know a lot of people don't like them, but they are great. They are a great live band. Uh,
Who?
the Dave Matthews Band.
I never got to see them. I've never really been that into their music, but I check them out. I mean, shit. I saw Eddie Vedder solo before, so I'm down for.
Yeah.
That's
So,
who Buddy Guy
but
opened for, by the way.
that doesn't.
It was at a festival. He was like a couple bands before Eddie Vedder. I'm like, that's
That should have been the
weird.
other way around.
It
But
should be.
the weirdest lineup I saw with Primus was it was Puddle's Pity Party, the Singing Clown, Primus, and then Coheed and Cambria.
Was that the show where Puddles came out and did that Sabbath cover? I think it was.
I think so. I think that he did come out and do the set.
Puddles is amazing, but that's a weird
Oh
lineup.
God, he's a hell of a singer.
What's one of the weirdest lineups? There's two weirdest lineups I've seen, and it was either when Ice Cube opened for Rob Zombie.
Well, he's kind of a metalhead, you know, body count.
Body Count was there too.
Yeah.
Or Emo Phillips opening for Weird Al Yankovic.
That's absurd. It just kind of makes sense.
It does make sense because Emo was in UHF, but like I think this was Emo's first world tour in like 20 years.
God.
But Weird Al puts on a fucking amazing show too, dude. Like,
Oh yeah, I saw Weird Al at the Capitol many years ago, and it was amazing.
I've seen him a handful of times, and the last time I saw him was probably the best out of all of them because this tour was literally designed just for Weird Al fans. Like every set list was different every night. He was pulling out songs he hasn't done in years, barely any parodies, no costume changes. It was just him on stage on the stool singing.
He's actually very fucking talented. Like
He is. And he also has a lot of good original music too. That a lot of people don't realize. And have you seen his movie yet?
I've seen UHF.
No. The other one that he just came
Yeah,
out.
the Weird Al movie with Daniel Radcliffe. That's why I love that movie.
This all really happened. I made it up.
Yeah, I love it. I love how at the end of the song was like, "This all really happened." I love
Didn't he have a
how,
disclaimer at the end that said this really did happen? I made it up myself or some shit.
yeah. I love how
he did an interview.
Machine gun at the end of fucking Madonna.
Well, he did an interview recently where he was asked about him and Madonna's relationship. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I met her for 5 minutes at like an award ceremony. That's about it."
Yeah.
It was love at first sight. Hey, dude, I'm gonna get off here because it has been 2 hours. We need to do this again very soon.
Yeah, man. I wouldn't mind being on as a regular and shit. Like, just
That's fine, dude. You're more than welcome on, dude. We can talk about whatever.
we can make it like a dual podcast where we both just grill the fuck out of people. Bro, you need to get on. So you need to get over some OnlyFans chicks on. Like fucking. Oh god, there's some smoke shows, dude.
You're acting like I don't have an OnlyFans account.
Do you? I mean, that's your business.
I'll leave that open for interpretation. I'm not going to say I do or do not. I'm just saying you're acting like I wouldn't. Judging by my appearance, I look like I already shoot professional porn in my basement.
With really grainy ass 8mm video.
I support sex work is not only the oldest profession in the world, but I support heavily that form of work myself personally. And I may or may not have an account, but what I do or do not do with that possible account is up for what people want to believe. And if you want, I'm not saying I do, but if you want to send money and see things, then you may or may not be able to message me.
I love how you're so intentionally vague.
You know what's funny is I might not even have one,
You probably don't.
but I probably
But
do. See, here's the thing. I'm the type of guy, I don't kiss and tell. Like if I sleep with somebody, I don't tell unless I'm dating them because it's nobody's business. It's not
Right.
because I don't want people to know. It's that some people are very private about that, so I don't.
Well, there's some chicks that do OnlyFans that actually have amazing fucking stories. This one girl, her name is Avery, and she actually had a contract at one point by Universal. Amazing singer, this girl.
That's interesting.
Yeah, she would be actually interesting to have on. And
Well,
she like struggled with, and she's like really struggled with like eating disorder and shit like that.
send her my way if she's open to talk. I actually had a friend of mine somewhat recently that was on here. Her name's Bridget. She's I don't know if she still does OnlyFans. I know she does adult content because she goes on Super Live and shit with it, but I don't know if she does
Yeah.
OnlyFans or not. But the thing is nudity is natural, sex is natural. Why is
And
natural?
there's another girl. She's actually from Wheeling, but she's like all over the world now. Lives in Charlotte. Scarlett Savage. You heard of her?
I know her. I am familiar. I may or may not have seen her content.
I have.
I may or may not have. She's a very nice girl. Very
Yes.
seems like a very down to earth. I have spoken to her a couple times.
I've seen her. I've seen her at mugshots a few times. Shout out to mugshots, by the way. Great cop shot.
But yeah, I'm very familiar with her work.
I'm sure you are. I love how you put the shades on.
Real friends show you their butthole. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not saying that I expect that from my friends, but if they want to, now's your chance.
It's the right neighborly thing to do.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I always find it weird that we can't tell our friends you see them as attractive or even in a sexual way. It doesn't mean that you expect that from them.
No. And
Like,
hey, I mean, if you want to like exchange like a friendly blowjob, I mean, it's not gay unless you make eye contact.
it's not gay if the dick's attached to a woman. Like, it's not. It's 2025. Everything and nothing is gay. And I find it weird that people are so afraid of they're like, oh, that might make me gay. We're the only animal that gives a fuck. Dogs will hump a goddamn couch and then smile at you after. Like,
right?
We're animals.
You know who also humps couches and smiles at people? JD
Vance. You know what's weird?
He loves the fuck couches, man.
What's weird is a lot of people don't even know who our vice president is. A lot of people assumed it was Musk. But anyway, I'm gonna get off here, brother. I will be posting this. Probably it might take me a week because I got to edit a little bit. Maybe I don't know.
I know you don't want to get sued.
Much love to you though, and thank you for coming by.
Oh, I'll do it again, man.
Let's do it again.
Fuck, I'll do it every week, bro. I don't care.
All right, but you might want to invest in a camera and maybe a better mic. No offense, just sometimes the audio is a little low. It could be because my AC is going on, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, I do have a better mic.
Okay,
I was able to locate one.
Bring it next time. It might make the quality a little better.
And I I'd have to buy a fucking camera. I don't know where I'm going to get one of those.
Right now, I'm using a Logitech webcam that's not too costly.
What,
it
like
was.
20, 30 bucks?
Let me look it up for you on Amazon. This webcam I'm currently using is, well, it went up in price. It's like 70 now. I bought it for like 30 on sale on Cyber Monday.
I can probably get it. I can probably find a cheap equivalent.
But this cam's nice. Like if I was to show you my butt right now, you can see all the rings on it. You know what I mean? Every bump and bruise. Anyway, much love to you, dude. Thank you for swinging by.
Much
Guys,
love to you, man.
go check this man out. You can't now because he has no picture, but go check out his content, his poetry. He's going to probably post sometime.
I do have, if you go on Amazon, I do have a spot on Amazon where you can purchase the book.
Oh shit, go. That's his name. Go there now. I love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
And
It
as
was fun.
always,
I enjoyed it.
live long, rock hard.